Sou Josiana, irmã da Juliana Rezende, onde nesse crime da Vale morreu ela e o marido dela, deixando os gêmeos órfãos de pai e mãe, ainda não encontrados.
Nós somos um município que é pautado na agricultura familiar e, conforme foi colocado pela companheira que de lá veio, hoje a nossa agricultura está comprometida, a nossa saúde está comprometida e nós estamos esquecidos.
As one of the largest financial institutions in the Nordics, Nordea has to ensure that the companies we invest in, that we lend to, are operating in a sustainable and responsible way.
Active ownership is part of Nordea's investment strategy to push companies in the right direction.
We believe that sustainability and returns go hand in hand, so companies that operate in a sustainable and responsible way also have the conditions to provide better risk-adjusted returns. So it's basically all about protecting shareholder value.
To witness the consequences with their own eyes, Nordea go on field trips around the world. On the 25th of January 2019, a tailings dam collapsed in the Brazilian municipality of Brumadinho. The tailing dam collected wastewater from a mine operated by the Vale mining company. The consequences were disastrous, with more than 235 people killed. Nordea funds own shares in Vale, and these shares were immediately put in quarantine after the tragedy. This means that Nordea will neither buy nor trade the company's shares before a thorough investigation of the issues. Senior analyst with Nordea Asset Management, Karim Sayad, is in Brazil along with two colleagues to assess what the next step should be. In Brumadinho, they are invited to a meeting with some of the affected townspeople and union representatives.
We're coming from Nordea Bank. We are investors in Vale, so we're here to investigate the incident, what has happened, why it has happened, and to hear your stories. It's important for us because we want to make sure that we have all the information we need to be able to assess our continued investments in this company.
Que perdemos nossas vidas, perdemos nossas propriedades, perdemos o rio. Nós é que somos as vítimas. Enrijecimento das leis. Nós sabemos que fora do país as leis são rígidas. Para finalizar, queria dizer também que essa forma predatória e exploratória do minério, ela urge por mudanças.
The local union representative calls for cooperation and transparency from Vale.
Que os sindicatos e as entidades comunitárias sejam reconhecidas no sentido do acompanhamento do processo de trabalho. Nós não vamos ficar lá fazendo bobagem, a gente vai fiscalizar as condições de trabalho. Porque 12 horas por dia operando uma máquina retroescavadeira em cima de uma barragem que treme o tempo todo, é um trabalho de risco.
Vida não se recupera. Nós jamais vamos ter na casa da gente os nossos familiares de volta. Falta isso nas nossas vidas. Nunca mais a nossa vida vai ser igual.
När man kommer hit och lyssnar på personerna som har förlorat sina anhöriga och förlorat sina hem, så blir det så mycket mer verkligt än att sitta framför ett skrivbord och läsa om det i en rapport. Det är därför det är så viktigt för oss som investerare att komma hit och prata med de här människorna för att avgöra om bolaget gör tillräckligt för att kompensera de som har skadats av det här. Och det är uppenbart efter att ha pratat med de drabbade att bolaget inte gör tillräckligt. Det vi kan göra som investerare är att ta med oss det vi har lärt oss här idag och ta upp det med bolaget. Ha en konstruktiv dialog med Vale. Så hoppas vi att saker och ting kan förbättras. Men om det inte gör det så kan vi välja att exkludera bolaget från alla våra investeringsfonder.
understand the extent of the disaster, the Nordea team visits the area where the dam used to be.
Still, 4 months after the disaster, it's still full of people here working day and night.
Every victim identified, we plot there, and we try to understand how the wave of mud transport the body. Right. Orange points are bodies e segmentos, por favor.
So how many cubic meters of sludge were in that dam? If it can
10 million cubics.
And that is enough to run this whole area and kill people so far downstream?
Yes, and we found a body over there, about 20 kilometers from here.
Colonel Anderson Passos has been involved in the rescue operation from day one. 135 rescuers have been working around the clock in more than 20 different locations.
And how many people are still missing?
Still miss 30.
30 people still
30.
missing. And who is paying for? Is it Vale paying for what you're
Yes.
doing? They're paying the
Every
expenses.
expense is paid for Vale. And we are trying to find 4 guys, missed guys. They were working on the collapsed dam. This is the left shoulder, the right shoulder of the collapsed dam. And over there we have the B6 dam. This place was the first place reached by the wave of mud.
So what are we seeing here right now?
We are seeing an industrial building, and we have some offices over there. We found a lot of missing people inside the building.
Dead people in here.
Yes, a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of people. And all of this soil were from the dam.
Brumadinho, with its 35,000 inhabitants, resides in the Brazilian state of Minas Gerais, which means general mining, in reference to the great mining activity in the region. The iron ore train continues to run through the city, where the residents are trying to get life back on track after the tragedy. The city's mayor wants Vale to stay and assume their share of the responsibility for the disaster.
O comércio foi afetado, os caminhoneiros foram afetados, a cidade toda foi afetada, fora o problema da saúde mental que nós estamos tendo, que é muito grave. E nós temos uma preocupação que daqui 2 anos, se a Vale não continuar pagando os impostos para nós, a cidade fecha. Fecha os postos de saúde, fecha o hospital, fecha a UPA, fecha tudo. Então é gravíssimo o que aconteceu.
The team meets Lucas, who assesses the houses that have been damaged or destroyed by the mud from the dam.
Lucas, can you describe what this place looked like before this happened?
A parte de baixo aqui é onde tinham maiores números de residências que foram atingidas. Essa parte toda aqui existia um córrego e isso aqui tudo era mata, era uma área toda de mata. E se perdeu tudo. Tá tudo soterrado debaixo dessa lama aí.
Right behind me there's a house full of mud. So you wonder who lived here? Did they manage to escape? Did they survive? It's really sad to see all this. You wonder how many more houses are buried under the mud here. How many people lost their lives and everything. It's really sad.
So now we're here in Rio de Janeiro, and we're here to meet with the company management of Vale, and we're here to discuss with them our findings of our visit in Brumadinho, and we're going to bring up a number of things that we've seen and we would like them to improve on, and that's partly the remediation efforts that they're doing, which are not sufficient.
Vale does not want us to film during the meeting.
We had a very good dialogue with the company. They're listening to what we have to say. We brought forward our concerns and discussed our observations from the trip in Brumadinho. We were supposed to have the meeting for an hour. It was extended to 2 hours, so we had a lot to talk about. All the people affected get the help that they need, that they're communicating it in a way that reaches everyone involved. But the company is making some significant changes in regards to governance, management systems and so on, which is positive.
Shortly after returning home, Nordea's Responsible Investment Committee gathers in Stockholm to decide what to do with their involvement in Vale.
It was a quite emotional trip. It was quite rough what we saw. Some of the key takeaways that we had was also that the local community is still suffering so many months afterwards. There is a clear lack of communications between the company and the local community. Going on to the recommendations that the RA team wants to recommend to the RA committee is we would like to keep Vale in quarantine going forward, at least till the independent investigation has been completed. Nordea Asset Management believes in active ownership. We're going to stay engaged with the company to push them in the right direction. If we divest, we won't have any influence on the company going forward. We don't want to see this happen again.